Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to a new episode of Pokemon at long last. Now, if you're watching this off the playlist, it doesn't feel like it's been that long at all, but in reality, it has been almost 2 months since I last touched this game, and it is kind of nice to be back, honestly. This is definitely a much less stressful alternative to Signalis, which, if those who have not watched the Signalis playthrough are tuning in, if you're into survival horror and want to have a really good experience, you don't have to watch my playthrough, but I definitely recommend checking out Signalis. It's, oh my goodness, that game has not left my brain since I finished playing it a couple weeks ago. But I'm going to do at least one more episode of it at some point. I really want to kind of go back, replay the game, get whatever endings I missed, and kind of conclude a summary of the plot, if you will. Like, at least how I can interpret it. Anywho, so we are picking up where we left off, which, from what I can tell based on the little things in the menu that tell me what to do, we're heading to Lake Valor. If I recall, we were at Canalava City, or Canalave, however you pronounce it, and we were gonna go, we had some sort of earthquake type thing happening, and we were somehow told, I believe, that bad things are happening across the lakefronts in Sinnoh, and we were specifically told to go to Lake Valor, which was back over this way in, I forgot the name of the town, but the swampy looking area, which we just flew to. I was too busy talking about Signalis and kind of zoned out. Anyway, we'll keep up with the casual voice acting in this series. I will notice that my voice has been kind of eating it a little bit because I've maybe had too many recorded too many episodes in a row in one day. Kiwi has particularly noticed, but it turns out when I talk for non-stop for like 2 or 3 hours, I used to be able to do that and my voice wasn't affected at all. Now it seems to be more heavily affected. Forgive me if I'm mistaken, I wasn't convinced I could fly directly to the lakefront, so we're just taking a nice scenic route to get there, but it only adds like an extra minute to the trip if I could have flown here, and it gives me a chance to kind of just catch up and say, well, so I know I've been kind of breaking this series up into very separate, going the wrong way, into like every like 20 episodes or so, I'm kind of breaking it up into this game and then I switch to another one. I think at this point my intent is to finish this game no matter how long it takes, but I might upload kind of a one-off sort of thing, or a like this series will be uploaded slowly sort of vibe kind of episode from this point forward. But largely I'm going to complete this playthrough. I'm pretty sure Lake Valor was over here to the left. Just as a reminder for those tuning in who have forgotten or who have been waiting for this to come out, I am playing with a house set of Nuzlocke rules. Standard Nuzlocke rules apply, but also certain things like I can still catch as many Pokemon in the area as I want, I just can't use them. I can't run from any battles. Any trainer I see on my screen I have to fight. Status ailments have certain effects. Those are all kind of in play, and I'll address them as they come up and be relevant. If you really care, I have kind of a whole list of those rules in the description of, I think, the first 5 episodes of this challenge, and then I got too tired to, like, keep posting it in the description because it's just a giant wall of text. So read at your own risk. Maybe I know it's around here. Maybe it is further north. Oh my goodness, we are not having good wild Pokemon RNG. And B-Barrels are gonna pad this out a little bit. I'll fast forward until I get to the lake. I'm sorry. Oh, I feel dumb. I ran right past it. It was right here. Okay. Picking up where we left off. Oh my goodness, I am sorry for that. I'm oblivious. Oh, listen to this funky jazz. This brings me back to the memories of Pokemon Coliseum. Pokemon Coliseum loved having kind of jazz associated with their evil teams. Alright. Oh, are you just not guarding it?
Next stop, Lake Verity. The closest thing to civilization out there is that Hicktown Twin Leaf. We can roll in there completely unopposed.
Oh no, look at all the Magikarp that have been, just dispersed from the lake, getting dried up, I guess. The Magikarp is weakly flopping about. I take it that they exploded the lake. Where did they get all that dynamite type stuff? Oh, and you will fight?
Would you like to join the Magikarp and flop around in the mud?
So I'm trying to think about what I want to talk about for the rest of this playthrough, and I'm kind of thinking about maybe just like, I don't know, either I was enjoying talking about my competitive history in the previous episodes before we switched into Signalis, so that's definitely a point of possible conversation. Other things I've been mulling over, I suppose, ideas of, oh wow, these are I forgot how bad the difficulty curve in this game is. Namely, it's not bad at all. It's kind of piss easy. We're 10 levels above this Grunt's Pokemon. Anyway, so yeah, competitive history is definitely something to think about. Kind of just critiquing the series as a whole to try and figure out what generation is my favorite, which I feel like I don't know if it's because of the poor quality of this game or if it's just the nature of Gen 4 as a whole, but I find that my nostalgia for Generation 4 is falling through a tad. I'm going to switch out here and save Earthquake for other poison types that the leader of this area will have. Let's see, Krogunk is fighting poison, I believe. We'll do Pine Tree, I think, here. We can intimidate it and then give it a nice little aerial ace. Anyway, so I don't fully know what I want to talk about just yet, but I'm trying to come up with a plan that'll keep me yapping for the rest of the playthrough, and I think kind of critiquing the generations, looking at the individual Pokemon would be the best idea. In the meantime, I can actually briefly mention that I am working on a fun little gift for my sister. My sister has mentioned that she has some favorite Pokemon. My sister is kind of a... I don't know if rocker is the right way to phrase it, but she's definitely into kind of metal and electric guitar and rap and that sort of thing. So I'm trying to make a music-themed Pokemon drawing of her favorite Pokemon, which apparently are Jinx. Psyduck seems to be her absolute favorite.
Overwhelming.
Psyduck is definitely her absolute favorite, so I'm going to have a couple of them in the photo, but also Gengar and Jinx seem to be among her favorites as well. It's cool that we share that same favorite Pokemon in Gengar. These sad Magikarp need help. I don't actually know which way I'm supposed to go. I guess we'll go this way. This way looks promising, so we'll go the other way first. There are a lot of trainers over here. What is up here? Because I figured it looked like this would be the way to go. Oh, hi there. You have anything to say, sir or madam? Madam. Even Team
Galactic has no use for Magikarp. Worthless, all of them.
All right, well, if you're gonna be like that, well, Samurai Jack, well, may they rest in peace every time.
We set off the galactic bomb. Its blast force was phenomenal.
But yeah, so I'm having a shiny Psyduck be the singer, and I gave it a little Jigglypuff microphone. Now I'm working on Jinx, who I'm going to try and make a bass guitarist or some sort of guitarist. And then after that, I'm debating if I want to have another Psyduck on the drums, or if I want Gengar to be on the drums and just settle for the 3 favorite Pokemon that she told me about. I haven't quite settled in on it, but when I do finish that image, I'll share it in an episode later, because I'm already happy with how it's coming out. Aside from the fact that I do not, for the life of me, know how to like do shading. I'm gonna be entirely honest. I'm doing a lot of line art tracing and then kind of like changing things piece by piece until it looks like what I want. Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to create something and claim it entirely as my own. I just want to make my sister a nice gift that only she could have, because there will be no image that exists like this. So like, I can take issue with the idea of just tracing someone's line art, but I'm mostly using the Pokedex, like the main game line art. So it's pretty obvious where I'm getting my lines from. I think same thing here. We'll switch back into Pine Tree and take it out this way. So Jinx is going to be on guitar, and then I have an image of a Gengar or a Psyduck kind of raising 2 drumsticks over its head, kind of smiling or mouth open. But if I don't do that, I'm trying to think what I would have Gengar playing instead. I mean, Gengar could easily do a tambourine, I suppose, but so could a Psyduck. I feel like a tambourine is a very Psyduck instrument. I don't know, I'm having fun. It's the first time I've drawn in some time. I used to draw Pokemon in particular a lot. What I would usually do, again, is I would trace line art, and then I would kind of do my own custom, like, filling for the color. Usually what I did, it was mostly just to help me zen out. It wasn't with the intent, again, of, like, claiming anything as my own directly. Like, I could say, okay, I copied the line art, but, drew the fillings, for lack of a better way to describe it. Who's getting Dark Pulse here? This is, ooh, okay. Let's see. Hex versus Nightshade. I think we give up Nightshade for sure. Hex will already have higher base damage in most scenarios for us than a 42 damage Nightshade. And Dark Pulse gives us some type coverage, although it doesn't really cover more than what Ghost type does.
Your Pokemon attack with phenomenal power.
But yeah, I'm very much enjoying drawing again. I think the last thing I genuinely drew was probably some little edits for the, aside from the Josh Strife Hayes banana mug, which I didn't really draw. It's mostly I kind of like cropped a bunch of photos on top of each other.
On behalf of our boss, I'll punish you for defying Team Galactic.
I guess what was the last thing I drew? I don't really know. I've mostly been cropping images to make little silly dumb edits in videos. So it may be the last thing I drew was my cat, that nightmare photo that I included in the yearly recap video, which if you haven't seen yet, at least skip to the cat focus sections, because those are a trip. I'm just gonna use Earthquake here. I'm tired of switching out. Sucker Punch should do next to nothing against us. Even if we don't resist it, it's Quipplecore has ridiculously high defense. You could say he has very rock solid abs even. He's trained that apple core to its... I don't know where I'm going with this, man. Oh, well. Alright, Beautifly could no absorb. I still don't think it'll do that much damage, and bugs are easy to blast with rocks. Let's smack it down. It's so weird to me. I do not associate a butterfly with an evil team. It just seems weird. Beautifly, like Dustox makes sense. Beautifly feels a little bit out of place. Alright, Quipplecore is actually going to be our highest level Pokemon at this rate, so I should probably switch him out for a new one. We do not use Explosion on Nuzlocke. Kiwi, repeat after me. We do not use Explosion on Nuzlocke. Get that out of your mind, Quipplecore. Oh my goodness, that brings back memories of Gen 1. There was, was it Rock Cavern or Dark Cavern? I don't know. It was the cavern that you took that, gosh, I'm forgetting its place in the world. I know it was near the power plant. You had to surf that way, and I think it was leading to Celadon City where you fought the 4th gym leader. But I just remember in the original generation of Pokemon, they had a bunch of trainers in there that had mostly Gravelers at the time, I believe, for that level range. But it was at that point in the game where Graveler learned either Self-Destruct or Explosion. And oh my goodness, it was brutal. You'd be going through those caves and suddenly it's like Graveler used Self-Destruct. It fainted and also took out whatever Pokemon was fighting. I don't think I switch out Stomp for Takedown. I'm generally not a fan of recoil moves in Nuzlocke for about the same reason as Explosion, although it's less directly a instant loss of that Pokemon.
I'm the one who got pushed in the end.
But, oh my goodness, it was a nightmare running through that area only to run into so this is very classic Jeff. Whenever I did the Rock Cavern, I did not bring Flash. I thought Flash was such a terrible move to put on. Oh, I thought that guy was gonna fight us before we went into the cavern. Hold on, let's see what they have to say.
What do you want? Are you one of those nitwits we fooled into guarding the entrance?
It doesn't matter who you are. It's too late to make a difference. Things are going to get really interesting now.
Actually, I want to change that. I want to say that again.
Things are going to get really interesting now.
That was such a bad laugh.
All the legendary Pokemon are going to be brought to our HQ in Veilstone City.
If you say so, my good sir. But oh my goodness, I used to have, as a kid, I used to have the Dark Caverns layout completely memorized somehow, I think, because I played Pokemon way too much. And so I never brought Flash, and that was probably suboptimal. Let's see, who do we want to lead against a team leader? I mean, why don't we start with Star Gecko? Worst case scenario, we switch them out, but I mean, I'm gonna switch out anytime things get sketchy. Can I just run past you? All right, what have we got in here that I can look at? Literally nothing, except for whatever this symbol on the ground is supposed to be, which it looks like it's supposed to be a symbol maybe, but it is just water, so I don't know, weird things.
The mission is proceeding without a hitch. The boss should be pleased. Everything is for everyone, and for the good of Team Galactic. I recognize your face. You're the child who raided the Team Galactic building in Eterna City. Jupiter should be ashamed of herself being beaten by a child like that. But anything and anyone who opposes Team Galactic must be crushed. Even the very thought of opposition will not be tolerated.
Alright, Commander. You're gonna tell us your actual name.
Your hair is stupid.
Saturn? Oh yeah, hey, I remembered. Commander Saturn. Alright, starting off with Kadabra. So this is a little sketchy. It's a matter of who wins the speed battle, but we're gonna... one or the other is gonna one-shot the other. But this brings back Gen 1 memories as well, although realistically speaking, Alakazam was the counter to Alakazam back in Gen 1 competitive because Alakazam was just so freaking busted. The only thing that topped it was probably Mewtwo and Mew. We'll go ahead and Dark Pulse this. I think we can knock it out. Actually, which does more damage? 65% boosted by 25% would be like... yeah, I think Dark Pulse. I do think Dark Pulse does more damage. Plus, it has the chance to crit. We're definitely faster, so I'm not afraid to use Dark Pulse here. It should one-shot this Kadabra, no problem. The only issue is if we miss, which we don't really have a chance of missing, but if Kadabra gets one psychic move off on us, we're probably going to lose our Star Gecko, so it's a little dicey. Bronzor... I mean, it's kind of the same situation. Bronzor has a lower base damage, but it still could potentially one-shot us. I don't think it's tanky enough to survive a +7 level Dark Pulse, especially if we crit. If we don't crit, well, we'll see what happens, but uh-oh. Star Gecko, can you tank this for us? Oh, no, it's payback. Oh. I guess 10 levels really do make a difference there. Okay, then. Here, have a Hex. I put a Hex on you. And now you're mine. I forget if that's also from Scooby-Doo. I'm having a... oh, no. That's from, oh, I'm blanking on the name. Not Wicked. Gosh. Elphaba, what's her face? What's her name? I can't remember it, but I definitely... oh my goodness, I used to play on Disney Channel. I'm lost. Okay, we're definitely switching out for Toxicroak. That could easily... I don't think we can kill it with Star Gecko. Who could handle a Toxicroak? I mean, Quipplecore will take any damage it brings out, and then we Earthquake it. Even fighting type moves, I think we could tank. Although it is poison type. Let's send out Manny the Dude Buster. I think that's a safer switch in here. I doubt this thing has anything grass type related. Wouldn't put it past to somehow no Energy Ball despite all odds, but unlikely. Don't you go stealing my items. Okay. And we're just gonna Earth Power this and watch it get shredded. If I recall, Toxicroak can have dry skin, which means if I use Surf here, it would actually heal. But yeah. Manny the Dude Buster, busting dudes left and right, easy peasy. Alright, and there goes Commander Saturn.
You, my friend, are tough. I can see why you defy us so.
I want to practice more with this voice, it's fun.
Even I, the commander, only managed to buy us time. That's fine. A child like you will never be able to stem the flow of time. Team Galactic will get the 3 legendary Pokémon of the lakes. With their power, we will create an entirely new universe. By now, Mars should have captured the Pokémon of Lake Verity.
Alright, so it does not appear that we get to do anything else here. We were told to check out the situation in Lake Verity. So where is that? I don't actually know. Oh, it's all the way over here. Have we been here before? Sand Gem Town. Okay, so that's where we started out. We started out... oh, okay, we're going home. Alright, that's cute. We get to go all the way back home, right, because they were saying they were pissing about in Lake, near Twin Leaf Town. Alright, let's go ahead and heal Team Up before we go any further. Not that we really need to heal them very much, but it doesn't hurt to top everyone off, get rid of these potions that are just taking up space in our inventory, and make it so Quipplecore can use Sturdy for a change. Alright, everyone looks pretty well topped off. Let's go ahead and fly on over to Twin Leaf Town then. I wish you could zoom in on this map. It really frustrates me that if there is an option to zoom in, it's not explicitly stated in the mini-map or in the map. There probably is a way, but I have yet to figure it out, and it makes it really hard to navigate. Plus, for some reason, the map seems very prone to being very sensitive to my my Joy-Cons activating and having some drift, and then you just see my controller going rogue in the map particularly. All right, into Lake Verity, back where we started back at the very start of this game. Gotta love that full circle. Hey, Professor Rowan.
Ah, Jeff, what timing? Those Team Galactic scoundrels are after the legendary Pokémon. You've got to help Don.
All right. Well, thank you for blocking this trainer who would probably have wanted to fight me. Oh, hello. I couldn't see him behind the trees. He got me. I saw the one on the right.
It is our mission to stall you. Sorry, but we gotta do our job.
It's in order for us to bring peace to the world, we must control it.
Somehow I mean, I can see the logic behind that, but it never works out that way. Oh my goodness, a full team of 6 in a double battle. This is gonna be a lot. I guess I could use Earthquake and just wreck things, because Earthquake hits every Pokemon on the field. I think we probably switch out Star Gecko. They're not the tankiest, and I really don't want them to tank any Dark-type moves off of Glameow. I don't think Silcoon is a threat at all, but let's switch out Star Gecko for... I feel like Whipplecore can do a lot of work here, so we'll do that. And then Captain Squawk, why don't you go ahead and just knock this Glameow out of the park? All right, so we've got a sizable battle ahead of us from the looks of it. So what else can we talk about? I don't really know. My brain just wanders. Let's see. Oh, I've been since I'm on the topic of kind of creaty, crafty type stuff. I talked about drawing. I'm also I've picked up crocheting again. So for context, my mom is like a crochet monster. She can make basically anything with yarn. Well, not anything, but she never took up yearning. Yearning. She never took up knitting, but my mom is amazing at crocheting. She makes little outfits for infants for her friends. She has crocheted entire outfits for herself. She has yet to make me a cat sweater, so I'm taking up the helm on that, and it's gone very poorly. But I'm learning. But there has been a blanket that I had started almost how many years ago now? Probably approaching at least 4 years, if not 5, that I had started making for Kiwi back in the day. Back when we first met in grad school, I wanted to do things to get better with my finger dexterity and like train my hands to be a little bit better for fine motor control, because I'm not the best at like technical mastery. I am a book smart and like theory kind of guy, but when it comes to working in a lab, I'm a hot mess who's prone to breaking things. So I figured, let me work with my hands a little bit more beyond like the fine motor skills of playing video games, you know? And my idea for that was, let me start crocheting a little bit. I mean, it's a way to connect with my mom. It's a way to kind of have something that I can casually do in my downtime that isn't just video games or reading manhwa and manga. And so I've been casually working on this blanket, and I mean extremely casually, but nonetheless working on it for the last at least 4 years. And it's now large enough to actually cover Kiwi in her entirety, but my goal is to have it double that size, so I've still got a long way to go. Granted, it grows a lot faster when it's this large, at least it feels that way. I genuinely wonder how many balls of yarn I have used at this point, because it is a large quantity of yarn. And I'm still going, and it is the simplest pattern I could do. It's for those who are familiar with crocheting, probably the most basic thing you can do is called a single crochet, and it's literally just tying a knot after a knot after a knot, roughly, in a linear pattern. Double crochet is kind of an extra step where you tie 2 knots in one location. It's hard to definitively explain without just showing you an image, but it's basically, if this is the level 1 skill, single crochet, then double crochet is like the level 5 skill at most. It's very basic, and I'm just double crocheting endlessly and endlessly. Although I have the goal of doing what's called a puff stitch at the end of this pattern, at the end of this blanket. So the very outer part of the blanket is basically very puffy looking, and it's still literally just double crochets over and over again. It's just double crochets tied into one location instead of tied into separate locations. Basically, you're tying, as you like build up your rows, you have, let's say you have a line of knots. You've kind of tied a linear line of knots. As you kind of extend your work and go back across those knots, you're building off of them so that you're going, if you were building kind of the x-axis, now you go up one on the y-axis and then build off of that lower y-axis of knots.
Losing was a part of my job too. I feel better by saying that.
Keep on coping, my dude.
You're too young to understand.
But the point being is puff stitch, so what I'm currently doing is just double crocheting. Oh, hold on. I'll wait till the dialogue's over.
Ow, ouch, what's with this old timer?
Oh, I guess Rowan just beat the schnot out of that guy. Another double battle. Let's switch out Star Gecko because I don't want them to lead into a double battle. Captain Squawk actually got pretty low, all things considered. I think we just lead with Quipple Core. That's fine. Captain Squawk, let's give you a potion before we jump into this next fight. Wow, Captain Squawk is fairly tanky, and he took a pretty hefty beating, all things considered. We'll use our last potion on him. There we go. All right, you guys, we'll take you on both at the same time.
I'll knock your Pokemon into orbit.
Orbit?
Orbit.
If this mission is successful, we get a nice bonus.
Hopefully it's not another 6 Pokemon battle, but I won't mind if it is. It gives me plenty of time to talk. Okay, 4 Pokemon. That's forgivable, I suppose. Stunky and Beautifly. Alright, so they have special attacks that could be a little threatening to Quipple Core, but they're not going to be able to attack fast enough for it to be relevant. Anyway, let's see. So, the point I'm trying to make is I'm going to do a Puff Stitch, which normally the double crochets are kind of just each knot in that initial chain, I just tie another knot, a set of knots into, and kind of work up the y-axis to kind of make a visual representation of what I'm describing. The Puff Stitch, instead of being a single knot into the lower row of knots, is multiple. So it kind of gives this kind of puffy, kind of, I guess, dense is how I'll describe it, but I don't know if describing dense with a cluster of yarn is appropriate. Basically, it just makes the edges look very ruffled, I guess, and I'm hopeful it will look nice, and if it doesn't, then I'll just end it with that. But I figured that's what I'll do, and then I'll do another like line of a different color along the edge of those puffs, and that'll be how I finish my blanket. That said, I feel like this is going to be a 10-year project at the rate I'm going, honestly, and that's okay. It's fun to have something to mindlessly crochet when I don't feel like I want to play a game. Or if I'm just casually playing RuneScape, I can play a game while crocheting, so it's a win-win situation. I have, speaking of which, I have just gotten Leagues 5 in RuneScape, old school RuneScape rather, just ended, and my goodness, I had a phenomenal time playing that. I have never done a Leagues in old school RuneScape before, and that was so much fun to just play with accelerated experience rates and completely busted combat mechanics. They made range so broken in that, and while I unintentionally went a route that was super ranged, I had not intended to take certain... So, old school RuneScape Leagues, if you don't know, they make you commit to certain regions. You choose which regions you want, and then you're locked to only being able to go to those regions for leveling and combat and things of that nature. And I accidentally locked in the wrong region for one of them, but it worked out really well.
My mind is going orbital.
I'm heartbroken.
Because it gave me a really good ranged weapon that just was absolutely busted with the buffs that they gave to ranged combat in that setting. Namely, they made ranged attack twice as fast, and also never miss, with a minimum of 30% of its lowest hit possible as its minimum damage. All right, let's talk to these guys. Hey there, guys.
That face, it brings back bad memories. I'm talking about the Valley Windworks. I got a whole lot of trouble for that little incident. What's with that look on your face? You do remember me, don't you?
Clearly I don't, because your name is question marks.
Fine, whatever, I'll tell you who I am again. I'm Mars, one of the Team Galactic's commanders. How cute. You think you can save the day in your little game of hero? Not a chance, you're not even a teeny one. You're all going down.
Okay, we don't even acknowledge that Dawn is there. Both Mars and I are completely ignoring her. Oh, okay. Yeah, Dawn isn't even part of this fight. That's cute. She is just completely ignored. Maybe I should have talked to her first. That's kind of awkward. Whatever. We're gonna smack these bats down with some Quipple Core action. That is a statement. All right, Rock Blast. Anywho, but my goodness, I got to what's called Dragon Rank, which was like the highest. Basically, the way Leagues works is there are points associated with many, many different tasks. And you can choose which tasks you want to do, but your goal is to, as you get more tasks done, you unlock further buffs and power-ups to skilling, accelerated experience rates, and new regions. And for every set amount of points that you get a rank. Starting at the lowest, I believe, was bronze, and then classically with RuneScape, iron, steel, whatever, so on and so forth to adamant, rune, and finally dragon tier. Dragon tier being the highest and the hardest to get, objectively speaking, but overall it felt surprisingly manageable to get to the dragon rank, and it was a really fun experience because it was like, I have not played old school in some time. Just to address it real quick, rule of thumb or house rules on this Nuzlocke is confusion status ailment forces me to switch out, so despite having just switched in to a counter to Bronzor, I must once again switch out. We proved that Bronzor can't really hurt Star Gecko, so I'm going to go ahead and switch into that. Hopefully it doesn't use any too hard hitting a move, but Payback didn't do much damage, and Confusion probably won't do much either. Yeah, we tank those. And even if it does double damage, as long as it doesn't crit, and even if it does crit, I think we still survive. We'll go ahead and use Dark Pulse because it has higher base damage for us. And Steel doesn't resist Dark types anymore. It used to, actually, and then they changed that because Steel was just such an oppressive defensive type. Steel is by far the best defensive type out there next to Fairy, because it just resists so many relevant and common move types, or Pokemon types. Honestly, I think we just let Star Gecko wreck face here. I think we outspeed we outspeed the Golbat, and Thunderbolt should one-shot it. Oh, it survived. Okay, that could be a little threatening. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. All right. This is like the only chance there is to ever use Payback and have it be relevant on Star Gecko, so I'm gonna just do it. I really hope it does. Okay, that I saw that HP trickle go real slow. That could have done nothing. That Golbat may have survived. We're never using Payback again. Oh. All right, we definitely don't leave Star Gecko out for this one, and hopefully that Perugly does not know Pursuit. Pursuit is terrifying, and I don't know if we're in the part of the game in the generational gap where they remove Pursuit from the game, which is very controversial, mind you. A lot of people were very upset with the fact that they removed Pursuit from the game. I'm mixed. I think Pursuit was super oppressive, and just it was, from a competitive standpoint, it was a behemoth of a move to deal with. But there are a lot of moves like that. All of the, Stealth Rock basically defines every competitive generation since Gen 4 when it was introduced. I don't know. We're gonna just surf this. Surf's up. I do have to be mindful that Slash has increased crit chance, but I think we can manage this just fine. All right, a second surf and we're good. Oh, never mind. It had a Citrus Berry. I guess I could go Earth Power and lower its special defense, but I don't think that's too relevant here. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do Earth Power. I think base damage-wise, Earth Power is slightly stronger than Surf. We still get Stab on it. Okay, even a crit doesn't do that much damage, it turns out. Manny the Dude Buster is one tanky Mother Slugger. Unlucky. Survived with 1 HP. I should have just used Earth Power from the start. Wait, I'm going to use Recover here just to save a healing item later. Even if Slash crits, I think we're fine. But, oh gosh, where was I? I don't know, it's nice to be back to a less stressful, less likely to jump scare me sort of game. Sure, we can have an unlucky crit with a surprise super effective move that kills one of our core team members, but with this level gap, thanks to the wonderful difficulty curve of this remake, I'm less concerned about that. All right, let's finish this fight with a nice fancy surf. No crits, please. All right, there we go. So looks like we'll be rounding out the episode shortly. So let's just see what Mars and Dawn, who we oh, thanks, Gastrodon. Thanks. That crit on that 1 HP Perugly, that really made the difference. That crit mattered. The crit mattered. All right.
Again and again.
All right, does Dawn get to talk at all?
I lost again. So first was the Valley Windworks, and now it's like Verity that I owe you for. This shouldn't be happening to a Team Galactic commander. Calm down, Mars. I've done my part in all this. My mission was to transport the Lake's Pokemon to our HQ. That's right, I accomplished my mission without a problem. Team, we're pulling out. The boss is waiting at the HQ. The Pokemon of the 3 lakes are connected somehow. Thanks to Saturn's grandstanding at Lake Valor, a cavern appeared there. It was the cavern where the Pokemon Mesprit slept. Mesprit appeared too, probably to go help its friends. That worked out well for us. It was super easy to catch. So now we've got them all. Mesprit, the being of emotion. Azelf, the being of willpower. And Yuxi, the being of intelligence. Now that we have all three, you can look forward to what Team Galactic has in store for them.
This voice is killer on my throat. Oh, thank goodness she's done. And we're back to completely ignoring Dawn. Hey, Professor Rowan.
I see. This also occurred at Lake Valor.
Oh my goodness. Okay, my throat is giving up.
Another legendary Pokemon was taken away by Team Galactic. Both of you went up against full-fledged criminals. The fact that you're unharmed is reason enough to celebrate.
And the fact that you sent us to fight legitimate criminals as like 10-year-olds should probably be questioned a little bit.
But what about Lake Acuity? Is Betty safe?
I forgot about Betty. We just completely ignored Dawn. There's no dialogue with her. She doesn't have anything to say here. Oh my goodness, Dawn, you are not a character.
Jeff, what is Team Galactic up to? Are the Pokemon they took from the lakes going to be okay?
That's literally it, isn't it?
Jeff, I need you to go to Lake Acuity right away. I'm worried about Betty.
I'm worried about Betty too. Betty doesn't know what they're doing. Anyway, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping, I hope you're sleeping well. I love you. Welcome back to Pokemon. I will see you in the next one.